Oh, hey, we're back with another episode. It's good to see you, man. And
Yeah.
I, bro, this world, this world is wild. At the same time, brother, I just had a conversation with someone this morning talking about they come from that real dogmatic Christian perspective of, end times. And I said, I don't see it like that. I see that as dark as it is and insane as it is, everything's coming to the light right now, which is why it feels overwhelming. But we're seeing things that
You
we never
know,
thought we'd see.
it's Revelations, man. I think we're living in
Yes.
Revelations. I'm pulling up an email right now that I'm going to show you that was just sent to me. Now, I don't know if these are real or not, So, like I said, Revelations, right? Like, I feel like that's what we're living in. And
Right.
I get some crazy emails. Okay. I get some really crazy, crazy emails. And I'm just going to show you this one that I got. So, just so you could just make up your own mind from it. And as you said, we're living in Revelations.
Yeah.
I've talked to David Wilcock about them. I've talked to L.A. Marzulli about them. I'm doing a show on these, and Brad Olson as well. Those are like my go-to, and Laura Eisenhower. Like those are my go-to UFO, anything UFO, paranormal. Those are
Right.
my go-to guys, right?
Right. You even
And
had Alex Sadat on, who I
yeah,
had, I had two episodes with him after that. I mean, he's saying the same thing.
yeah, I need to send these pictures to him as well. I'm about to break this on your show and on my show. So I'm going to
Amazing.
show you some stuff that was sent to me, and people can make up their own mind. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know if they're real. I just want to show people what I get on the
Mm.
norm, and these really stuck out to me. I don't know if they're real or not. Okay, I do not know if they're real or not, but these apparently were excavated in Mexico, and it's by a Janelle. So I thought you might find these interesting. Currently watching your interview with Brad Olson. I am a Canadian, currently reside in Mayan Riviera, the Mexican. A Mexican friend of mine sent these photos below. Her brother is working on the Mayan train currently in the construction. These artifacts were found during excavation. So thank you for all you do, blah, blah, blah. But here's some of these pictures. Look at this. I don't know if these are real. Obviously, it shows like this is the type of stuff I'm getting.
Yeah.
And I have no way to validate this
Yeah.
or decipher what's real or what's not. That's why I sent these to L.A. Marzulli. I said, look, this is obviously showing abduction.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of
Sacrifice. Yeah.
this?
Sacrifice, a harvest of organs. Well, I first of all, I read the book of the Hopi, and the Hopi prophecy talk about the ant people that went underground. It talked about all these different types of, call them creatures or humanoids or whatever beings that these things were. Ancient, untouched religions have always documented beings that are not looking like you and I. So I
Right. I
looked
mean, look,
up.
this would go with like maybe reptilians, maybe the grays. Now, I'm going to say this one more time. I have no way to tell if this is real or not.
Hmm.
This is just what they said. This is somebody I do not know that watches my show that says a friend of theirs was at I guess, an excavation site where they unearthed these artifacts.
Hmm.
But look, you can clearly see these are grays, right? That's what they
Yeah.
look like.
Yeah. Or blue. I mean, you
But
get
but
the
it's but
concept.
they're and this would make sense, right? They're taking out the heart,
Yep.
and that's what they do, right? In the Aztecs, the pyramids, they would sacrifice to the gods, right? I mean, it makes sense to me
Yep.
now. But then again, I don't know if this is real or not, folks. So please keep that in mind. These could be these could be completely fraudulent.
Interesting.
I mean, look at the eyes. I don't. They look like they would be called ant people, right?
Yeah. The Hopi called them the ant people. I mean, and isn't that what the Greys look like as well? Big eyes, large skull,
Yeah.
small body.
I mean,
Um,
I guess you weren't expecting me to pull these up on your show,
no. But hey, I'm glad you did. Let's go.
Something to talk about, right?
Hey, I think I'm going to use some Bible verses. When I read the King James Bible 7 times cover to cover in 14 years. I went heavy into Christianity, running my own ministry. And even though I've left that world from that perspective, I use scripture all the time, and there's a verse that says in Hebrews, we see then that they cannot enter in because of their unbelief. Speaking about the Israelites not being, or the Hebrews not being able to enter into the promised land because of their unbelief. There's also a verse in the King James Bible in 1 Corinthians, in that passage where it's usually people translate it to love is patient, love is kind, love is this, love is that. But in the King James Bible, it says charity believeth all things. And I think that's an interesting thing. Like, I can believe something or hold it and play with it. If it's true or not true, we'll only know a tree by the fruit it bears. That's what Jesus said.
Right.
You shall know a tree by the fruit it bears. So I can look at these things, and why not believe it? What does that do? How do I feel? Is it real? Does it resonate? Well, looking at these things, why would this not be real? I mean, it's only a
and it
threat to
doesn't like
someone's
destroy my
worldview.
belief in God. It just adds more to the complicated. It's
The
just more
complexity of it all.
the complexity.
Yes.
It's not
Yes.
like first of all, who said God was simple? You know,
That's right.
and now
Oh,
this one
that's
here, dude. Look at
interesting.
this. I
That's
just now I've heard from 𝗀𝘂𝗃 and others that these are probably not real. But how do you know that not being there looking at them? I don't. But see, you can see this UFO right here taking up
right.
this here, and then there looks like I don't know this. I just want to show I like to be very transparent with my audience, and I felt like it was a good subject to talk about. Look, you can plainly see UFOs up here,
Yeah.
UFO there. Now, I leave it up to my audience. Do you think these are real? I don't know. I just like to bring everything to the table. I don't like to hide anything from my
Yeah.
audience. I like to bring experts on to talk about this stuff,
Right.
but you're definitely not an expert in this field, and neither am I. But I think
No.
it's still two regular guys talking about what we're looking at here sometimes gets more across than an expert,
Yeah.
because they're going to take a position where, oh, it's not real, they debunk it, whatever. But
Right.
two regular people like you and I looking at this
Yeah.
might do more justice than not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that even someone would take the time to make this level of detail, either they're trying to pull over the greatest hoax the world has ever seen, but that takes a lot of time, energy, effort, money, and it doesn't seem like that's really being spent on this, or whoever built this believes this. And maybe that's
Yeah,
not
but
the
why would they use this as a hoax? I mean, for what? I
right.
mean, what
No,
are they going to
exactly.
get out of this besides going to jail?
Right.
I mean, obviously, seriously, like who would take the time to do that? I mean, look, people are weird. We know that they're strange. Plenty
Yeah.
of this stuff out there, but
Is that the serpent, the top? If you can, you go back up the top left. Is that an alligator or
looks
the
like an
serpent?
alligator. It looks like an alligator,
Yeah, maybe that's Quetzalcoatl.
maybe.
Quetzalcoatl. I don't know.
And then there's a UFO, and then they're just all kind of looking up.
And is
Very
it?
strange. I mean, if this is real, this definitely puts into question everything in our existence.
Yeah, yeah. Fascinating.
That's a lot of elaborate artwork right there, man. To hoax.
Right,
Who would take the time to do this? Like I mean, seriously.
brother. I first of all, I'm glad we're talking about this because I was in Europe last week, and I mean, look at that skull. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like a dragon's tail or something.
Look
Huh.
at this one. This one's gonna trip you out. Watch. Not that one, but this one. Look. Watch. Well, that one's kind of cool.
Oh,
Like, what is this supposed to be? I don't know. But look at the eyes.
oh, interesting.
But look at this. Watch. Look at these. I mean, could they be manufactured? I mean, could they be frauds? Yeah, they could.
Hmm.
I'd like my audience to figure this out and look at this one. I don't
So
know.
they're all feasting on the human looking, or they're all holding, or
Yeah, it looks like he's holding a Mayan.
right. Dude, that is so interesting. I mean, that looks like an ant.
I mean, there is machinery that can do this now, right? Like they could
Yeah,
easily.
yeah, laser. But
Yeah.
that's reading the book of the Hopi. opened my eyes to a lot because they were uncontacted. And the Navajo refer to the Hopi as the ancient ones. So even the Navajo, one of our oldest native tribes in the US, refer to the Hopi as something uncontacted and ancient. And they've kept their script, their scripture, their holy text continuing.
Yeah, dude, I have no way to validate this, and I want to keep making my point across before someone jumps on me about this. I have no way to validate this. It's just a strange email that I received that I thought was good and has enough substance to put out to the public and have them make up their own mind. I cannot validate if this is real or not. So I have to keep saying that. I mean,
look at that.
Look at that. I mean, that's huge, bro. Look at the steering wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
I mean, they could be fakes. They could be hoaxes. I don't know. They definitely could be. I mean, like I said, I sent these to Wilcock and Marzulli, and they tend to believe this is fake. But the question remains, why? Like, look at the guy's hand right here.
Yeah.
Very interesting, right? To say the least.
I mean, fake in the context of like historically accurate. I mean, they're real. Someone made them. So the better question is not, are these real? They're real. Who made them and when? Are they ancient? I guess was the question you asked them their thoughts and they said it's just fake, like someone's making these for this.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're trying to sell them or what, maybe.
Interesting.
See, I answered back the email. I go, thank you. I'm going to use this for a show. Because I think I was like that, that's all I'm going to do with them. Now, they didn't put a price tag on them. Like, oh, would you like to buy one? No one said that, but I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, and that hummingbird, this is within the Nazca lines, right? In Peru.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Very interesting. I mean, and then this one, look at this.
Right there.
That's very elaborate stuff, man, right here. That's the calendar. I mean, but if this is real, I mean, this right here in itself, if this is real, now that's a big if.
Right.
If this is real, debunks all of our history, evolution, everything.
100%. And I'll tell you right now, I was talking, I've been in so many, I'm glad this is funny that you're bringing this up. I was talking to someone this morning about atheism is a modern day phenomenon.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how old these are. There's no uncontacted tribe in the world or any history of any documented people who did not believe in a spiritual realm. Atheism is a modern day phenomenon from the mid 1800s to today. This concept that there is no spirit realm is a fabricated campaign to get people to not believe the real power that we inherently are. If we're made in the image of God, and it takes so much marketing to deceive us, so much energy to poison us, to make us sick, to keep our food, our air, our water. Yeah. I mean, that's how powerful we are. If it takes trillions of dollars to keep us beat down like this, just think of the moment we realize, wait a minute, who are we really?
Yeah, and this would show you who's really the puppet masters pulling the strings, right? I mean, if this is real and they had contact with these indigenous people for thousands of years, because these would probably be thousands of years old, they had the technology then, and obviously they're making contact and they're doing things like this picture here. If we go all the way back up to this picture here, which I will show right now, looks like an abduction, which would explain the tradition of them having there right there, boom. And then they're standing over this Indian, which would explain why they did the sacrifices to the gods, right?
Right.
That's what it does to me. I mean, but if
brother, Juan has done a good job, I think, explaining a lot to your audience.
Yeah.
But there's an interesting verse. So I 100% believe the narrative that the serpent Eve,
Right.
and she carried the serpent seed and Adam's seed at the exact same time. And so Cain was of the serpent, and Abel was of Adamic's or Adam's line. But once Cain killed Abel, Seth replaced Abel. And so the battle that we have, because Cain said,
The
my
seed war.
it's a seed war. And Cain said, my punishment is greater than I can bear, for you have driven me from your face from this day forward. Meaning Cain still desired to be in the presence of God, and God removed him from his presence forever. So they're essentially knowing that they could not come before the presence of God anymore, but understanding the order that God had created, co-opted it and made their own order as a veil to the natural world. So the Adamic line, which is what you and I are of, have always fought the blue bloods, which are the reptilian line in this world. And I don't mean necessarily like wealthy elites, but they actually consider themselves the reptilian line. But what's interesting, in Genesis chapter 3, it says, and they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said, where art thou? So the first question God always asks us is, where are you? Even though he knows, God knows everything, but he still asks, where are you? And Adam said, I heard your voice and I was afraid because I was naked. And so God asked two more questions. Who told you that you were naked? Did you eat of the tree wherever I commanded you not to eat of? So God asked three questions, I think, to us every single day. David, Lucas, where are you? Did you listen to someone other than me? And did you do what I said not to do? And all God's looking for is us to say, yes, I messed up.
But that's the test of the free will.
Exactly right. But what does Adam do? Adam immediately blames Eve, the woman thou gavest to be with me. And then God goes to the woman and says, what is this that thou hast done? And she says, the serpent beguiled me and I did eat. And God cursed the serpent right away. And he said this very fascinating thing because he told the serpent, dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And then he immediately goes to Adam and says, for dust thou art, and dust thou shalt return.
Right.
So think of the concept. The reptilian eats the death of the Adamic line. The way to keep the reptilian line alive is consuming us.
Right, which goes a lot with
eat dust all the days of thy life, and then immediately tells Adam, you're dust, sucker, and you're going to return to dust because you didn't stay in my ways. So then we are living the battle of these ancient lines today, but darkness loses. All this is getting exposed, whether this is real, whether or not. The fact that we're talking about it makes it real enough in the consciousness of mankind to start questioning, what the hell is this place? Right?
Yeah. And what I think we're seeing here, especially with them abducting and doing these or whatever experimentation on this individual here, this Indian, it just shows you that there is something to them trying to game this system. They need something from us, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I just find this fascinating, and I just want to leave it up to my audience. Tell me down below in the comments what you think. I mean, I'm not on either side of the fence here. I'm right in the middle. I don't know if this is real or not. I just think it's interesting, and I thought, Lucas, why not bring you on? You're the lucky winner, guy.
Brother, that's it. Let's go. That's fun.
You never know what you're going to talk about with Nino. And then there's some great. Look at this.
What did Laura say? Did you send him to Laura? And
I'm going to send him to her next. Yeah, she's going to get some. And then I sent him to David Wilcock and to L.A. Marzulli. I think they don't even want to touch this with a 10-foot pole, you know?
Yeah.
But I will.
Hey.
You can see the eye's broken right here.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
The eye's broken right there. So I mean, I don't think that's a detail. If someone was making this as a hoax, that they would just, this just doesn't seem like something I mean, look at this. I mean, the elaborate details. I mean,
it's interesting to see all those space shuttles. So I grew up in Seattle. We live in Dallas now, but I grew up in Seattle, and Seattle has the Space Needle. And I remember thinking, all when there's the World Fairs
Oh
in the
wow.
US, they built these towers. San Antonio has it. It's the Tower of
Stratosphere in Vegas,
Stratosphere. It's
uh,
always a spaceship.
Seattle.
Seattle, it's always a disc. And I was looking at it one day.
Damn, dude, that's true.
Isn't it crazy?
It looks like a
And all around,
UFO with like,
yes,
wow, you're
yes.
right.
And then I thought, what did they condition us to accept the narrative of from aliens? In that we were told when we were young, growing up, like, we come in peace. We come in
Yeah.
peace. And I thought, why would they seed this narrative that these aliens come in peace unless there was war or disruption already on the planet?
Right, where they'll come like saviors.
Exactly right. And who right now is considered the disruptor to world peace? It's you and I. It's the uncompliant. It's the ones that say no in this face of pressure like the world has never seen. And I don't know. It's just an interesting narrative that they have set up. Oh, that's interesting.
That's pretty big. I mean, he's actually measuring it right there. Now, could they be making these in a warehouse right next door? I
Yeah,
don't,
that's the
maybe.
manufacturing.
I mean, could it be, dude? Seriously, I mean, could this guy be like showing this to sell it? I don't know.
Hmm.
What do you think? I mean, I'm leaving this for my audience. I don't know. It just looks like could they be using this to like, I don't know, is he like selling it?
That's a weird that's
His
pretty weird.
hands look dirty, like he's been like grinding some stone
Yeah,
out or something, right?
yeah, yeah.
He looks like he's maybe one of the workers. I don't know. This could be all fake.
Interesting.
Oh,
I mean, the other thing I've often asked is how does Hollywood even get the concepts for the images that they create? It has to come from a source because Solomon says there's nothing new under the sun. So
yeah.
mankind, and Joe Rogan actually, I know we might get into that, Rogan, but I actually like his idea on what is an idea. What is a thought? It comes in, is it a conscious being that tries to get in and seed itself that it can manifest?
I have my theory.
Go,
I have
what
my
is it?
theory. I
What
think
is,
there's a just like electricity,
yes,
consciousness is a
yes,
giant ethernet, like we're just like the internet. We're all
yep,
connected to it with our antennas, whatever it is, the pineal gland, whatever you want to call it, that connects us to the super consciousness of everything. And
right,
we get our no idea is original. When you're receiving an idea or a thought,
right,
probably a million people at the exact same time are getting the same thought and
yeah,
download. And I
yeah,
think that's how this works. You know, it's a super consciousness ethernet that we're all tapped into, and that would be called God. God is, when I was in San Antonio and I was on top of my hotel room and I was looking down at all the people bustling around and walking around on the river walk and cars
mm,
driving, and then I could see miles down the other direction. I'm like, wow, those people over there have no idea what these people over here are doing, but it's
mm,
all energy and it looked like ants. And I'm like, everything is just energy. It's just one energy. And our egos, each person has an ego. It's an illusion. Everyone thinks of themselves as although we are all unique creatures and part of this, I saw everything as one energy. It's all
mm,
working together, and I think that's what God is, that one source.
yeah,
And
yeah,
every idea that person might have, maybe the exact same time that person over there gets it from
right.
this ethernet of consciousness and energy that is God,
Dude, that's
I don't
beautiful.
know.
I think it's beautiful. Maybe that's the what maybe multiple people are gifted with an idea, but who does something with the idea and brings it into the world? And maybe this is the concept of, this narrative of Jesus saying, that day you'll hear, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." Well, maybe that's really more a narrative of what did you do with what you were given?
Yeah. Because I think everyone at the same time gets the same downloads, right? And they're
Yeah,
like, it's kind of like the 100th monkey,
yeah, right,
right?
right.
It's the same thing. It's like the 100th monkey. I really believe that's actually a true experiment. So I think there's a lot that's to be said about that.
So then how does the movie Alien or Predator come up with the concept of what those things look like unless they were probably real?
Yeah, yeah.
Based on those images,
Well,
it looks
dude, I mean,
exactly like Hollywood makes. So then where did they come up with the idea?
look at Coneheads. I mean, look at the movie Coneheads. It's a comedy. and they're making a
100%.
mockery out of it. But look what they're unearthing in Peru.
That's right.
Coneheads.
That's right.
You know, L.A. Marzulli has models of them in his house, and he's been on the excavation sites. I mean, these things existed. So is it too far-fetched to say the relics I just showed right now are fake or not fake? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to leave this to my audience. I don't know. It was just a strange email that I got, and I felt like it's my duty to not hide things and be scared. Oh, what will people think of me? I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just going to put it out there and be like, do what the fuck you want to do with it. I don't know. I'm just giving you what I got, and I did not validate it. I don't know if it's real. I wasn't there. That dude could be making it in a factory. I don't know. But it's still worth putting it out for my audience.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And that's how I'm going to pivot and segue into this next bit right here, because I got to jump on with LA. But I want to talk to you real quick about this. Right now, and I know you've had Juan on your show many times. I know you've had a lot of great guests on your show. Right now, we are at war. And I got to be very careful here how I word this on FluffTube. But we are at war right now, and people are picking sides. People are picking lanes, and we're all seeing it. We know what's at stake here. All of humanity is at stake here. To those of us who are awake, understand this. It's very simple. And for someone like Taylor Swift or like Joe Rogan to not comprehend this, if that's really the excuse they're going to use, which I don't believe that, because I know Joe Rogan's a very, very intelligent man.
Very intelligent. Yeah.
But for Taylor Swift to come out and endorse you-know-who, endorse her, a minute or so after the debate, tells me who she is and what she represents. And that to me is evil. But it's the same thing when good men do nothing, evil run amok. And it's just as evil to me. So for Joe Rogan to just be neutral also shows me, in my opinion, and I'm saying this, he's a very intelligent guy. I know he is. Very open-minded. He understands all the conspiracies. That's what his show is based on. For him, at this critical point in time, to be neutral, to remain neutral, is cowardice. It's cowardice. I'm not scared to say it either. I'm going to say it because you know better. No. You know better, dude. You know better. You know where we're at right now. Don't tell me you're remaining neutral. Nobody likes a lukewarm anything. You're either on this side or on that side. The line has been drawn, and you're picking to be. Ooh, I'm kind of on the line. Nah. No, not right now, bro. Not right now. And I think he has a duty. Look, everyone knows what I represent, right? I'm not scared.
I mean, exactly. Right.
I don't know. That's just how I see it. I want to know what your outlook is. I mean, I hate to put you on the spot, but I'm just saying, like,
well, you started it okay with the images. I like it, bro. This is how I'm seeing it being played out. I think we're watching the greatest chess players in mankind's history play a game right now in front of our eyes. So you have the Republican National Convention. Trump gets shot, Republican National Convention, massive unity, high vibes. Everyone's feeling good. The Hulkster rips his shirt. I'm like, oh, right, that intensity countered. Then DNC convention, but the moves held back. Then RFK Jr. joins. So move, counter move, counter move, then debate, then their counter move was Swift. And I think, in getting to Rogan, because my question is, I have a buddy that I've had on the podcast who's friends with Rogan's circle, very close. And he said, Rogan's so surrounded by Christians right now. Even when Kid Rock goes on his podcast and he's like, do you believe in Jesus? Like, Kid Rock's like, yeah, I believe in Jesus. Like, Jesus. And he's like, well, what does that mean? He's like breaking down, and Joe was quiet for a second. Like, almost like, well, he's really being surrounded right now with this narrative. So you're right. I think he's being encircled, that for him to make that choice. And I'm holding out hope, because the buddy that I've had on the podcast said he could be the greatest Saul to Paul conversion since 2,000 years ago. Can you imagine that?
Wow, that could be epic. If Joe, so you're saying like he switches up at the very last moment, pulls everybody in for Trump or something. That would be epic.
I think he might bring Trump on. I think that's a counter move that we're waiting. I'm waiting for him.
Wow, that's a good point.
because when Trump was at the UFC and he and Joe looks at him and I was like, what was he actually
Ooh.
like? I think it's a counter move coming.
Wow. So you're saying that, okay, as you hearing it here first, folks, Lucas Mack said it. So
But,
this could be the counter. No, this is cool. This is a good,
I think
that's actually brilliant. You're saying that Joe Rogan could, in fact, maybe endorse him at the last second or like bring him on his show. That would be epic.
he loves RFK. He loves Tulsi. Both of them have thrown
Wow.
out into the ring. What's left? What's next?
Ooh, at
It's
the last second. Ooh. Sean Ryan's had Trump on and JD Vance, and Sean Ryan's a good friend of mine. And yeah, I was very pleased to see Sean Ryan like really picking up his shield and sword
yeah.
and going like that. He's a good friend of mine, man. And so I like that. That dude's a salt of the earth guy. He's like one of the best dudes. So that would be really cool. This man, dude, you got me thinking.
Why not?
Wow, I can't believe I didn't think of that. Damn it.
No, bro. And I'll say this about Trump. You know, a real sociopathic narcissist, which Trump is nothing of it at all, will destroy someone's life in an instant and won't stop till someone's life is destroyed. I
Right.
grew up with someone like that. Many people know real sociopaths, narcissists that will destroy someone without fail until they're
I've
destroyed.
been in the boxing business. You don't think I was surrounded by those
Yeah,
people?
you're
Yeah.
surrounded, you know these people.
Yeah.
And they've projected this narrative on Trump, but Jesus said, there is no greater love than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. And I look at Trump as the embodiment of the greatest love that humanity has ever seen, possibly in 2,000 years. I'm not saying he's Jesus. I'm not saying he's the Messiah. I'm not saying he's a deity. I'm saying
Yeah, don't
nothing,
get it twisted. Yeah, people,
nothing of
I
the
get what
sort.
you're
I'm
saying.
saying I've never, the amount of courage. See, what happened is when they projected all this narrative, they separated him as a human to a caricature.
Right.
If you think of him as a human and actually to stand there in the courage, like you had to stand in a ring and get in there and you know you're going to get beat and hurt, but you still get in that ring and still choose. This man has chosen to love humanity at a level that it's humbling. It's humbling, bro.
Yeah.
So I think what's happening right now, I really just, I know you got to go in a sec, but I just, light wins. They lose. They don't win. What's happening though is the law of free will existed well before our souls ever entered our body. And so we're all playing out this cosmic game right now of what we came here to choose, what we came here to bring. I had a Orthodox rabbi friend say to me back in 2017, it changed my whole perspective. He said, if you don't understand Satan is God's greatest servant, then you don't understand God. I'm like, what? He said,
Right. I
if
get
God
that.
is supreme, if God is God, the creator, the supreme God of all, then nothing operates out of his will. But why does Satan and all this darkness exist? Why does the
To
duality and
give
this?
us the option of free choice or free
That's right.
will.
That's right.
Because one has to have the other.
Bro, and even those that choose the darkness are only helping us choose the light. It's a contrast. So ultimately, you say God is one, and God is one. That's the Shema, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. To understand that this duality is the fallacy, and that love is the highest covering. Love, Bible says, love covers a multitude of sins. Perfect love casts out all fear. And no greater love is this than a man to lay down his life for his friends. And that is what they can't stop. They can't stop. They cannot stop love. They've tried to teach us that love is conditional. Love is sad. Love hurts, loves pain, loves all the things. They have constantly manufactured a false love until one man stands there and says, you can hit me, hate me, shoot me, defame me, try to all these things. And I'm still, what is he always says, what do I have to gain? I had a perfect life. What does he actually have to gain? His gain is to show people how much we are worth fighting for. Humanity, beautiful, bro.
Look what happened to him after he got shot. He got up and said, he put up his fist and said, fight, fight. That he wanted everyone to know. He wasn't rushed into the car and scared.
That's right.
He got up and threw his fist up and said, fight, fight, fight. Bro, is there anything more hardcore than that you've ever seen?
No,
I mean,
no,
seriously.
no.
I mean that guy. I mean, I wanted. I was actually tearing up. I've never seen anything like
Yeah,
that in my life.
yeah,
And they're downplaying it in the media.
yeah,
Notice even in the debate, they didn't even talk about it. Right when he brought it up, they're like, "Oh, on to the next question." It's like
right,
these people are so scared and
yeah,
so evil
right.
that they'll. But and I know you agree with me. They're not going to win this.
No,
It's not going
no,
to
they're
happen.
not. No. And remember, evil, EVIL, is live backwards.
Mm,
And devil, DEVIL, is lived backwards.
yeah.
So that's the duality, devil
Wow.
or lived, evil
Right.
or lived. And that's the choice.
Right. Yeah, you're
Choice, brother.
100% right.
And that's what's
Damn.
just these people that are the world elites, they understand that they look at language from left to right and right to left, because half the world reads right to left and half the world reads left to right. And
Right.
they're taught to see, so they know the spells that they're putting out. They know. I was at a conference in Chicago, emceed a couple of weeks ago, and the speaker was about to talk about shame. And I talked about my TED talk, and I said the root word of shame is shh, and then aim,
Mm.
silencing your aim, your intention. And so many people have shame, and they're wanderless, they're wayward, they don't know where they're going, there's no purpose, there's no vision. But the only way to get shame out is you have to shh out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout. You get the silence and that shame out of your body. All these words, it's like a word spell. It's really amazing what they've done in the English language
And
to hide.
you know who broke that down really well was Jordan Maxwell. I don't know if you ever
Oh,
watched his videos. That guy's been able to take down the.
brilliant.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's brilliant.
yes,
Brilliant.
yes.
Brilliant guy. Um, wow. I just think that I'm going to keep that in mind with what you said about Rogan. I'm going to see if he plays that card.
I hope he does. I think I know that's the card that he has
We
been
know
off.
what card Taylor Swift played. Okay,
Exactly right.
that's out there.
Yep. Yep. Let's
I
see.
see so many people in the entertainment industry being taken down, and things just look. Doesn't it just see? Can't you? Aren't you witnessing this? Aren't you thinking to yourself like, this is unbelievable to be alive right now? We are watching the old paradigm just crumble.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
old Hollywood, all of that is just done. We have
Yeah.
now. I believe we've come into the new paradigm, and we're just watching the old system come down. And what
Yes.
they're hoping for is that they can control the new system, which I
Yeah.
think is out of their reach. I don't think it's possible because uh you can't put a new consciousness back into the old box, back
That's
into
right.
the old shoebox. It doesn't fit. It's expanded.
That's right. That's right. Bro, they because they hate us. Look at all those statues or,
Yeah.
carvings. They hate us. So they know they're going, and they're going to take as many as they can, because sociopathic narcissist concept. If they're going to go, they're going to take as many out as they can. And yet God is still protecting us, because look what's happening. We're still here. We're still here. They don't want us to live. The Clintons shut down all the military bases, but kept them operational. Well, what were they going to do with all those military bases?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
what do you think the
Well, they
plan?
were gutting out the Walmart centers too.
Exactly. What do you think, everyone, the plan
Now
actually
be
was?
careful and
No,
fluff
I
tape.
know, but it wasn't patty cake and to play
No.
nursery rhymes for you. It was a different plan, but that plan has been,
Nefarious.
yeah, nefarious.
Nefarious. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was in, I was in,
And my theory is, with all the people we've talked to, the same people, is that it's going to be used for them.
bingo. The stone which they tried to roll upon you will be rolled upon them. The snare which you set in the side of the bird will be used upon them. The pit that they dug for you, they themselves will fall into. That's right. And you know what's beautiful about that? Because they know the karmic law. It's called karma. What
Yeah.
you put out immediately comes back.
And that's why they have to that's why they have to tell us before they do things, because they think they figured out a way to game this system, or found loopholes in the system, to where when they put it out in movies or put
Yeah,
it out in syndicates or news articles, they feel by us reading it and digesting it, that whatever
right.
happens to us is our fault. They
They say
remove
we told them.
themselves from the karma.
We told them. We showed them.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
But you can't game the system. There's
No,
evil. It's all about intention, man. It's
yeah,
what you're putting out there. You get back to you. It's a boomerang,
that's right.
and that's why I feel like everything they do comes back to them because they're putting out evil intent.
Right.
So,
Bro, I know you got to go in a second. I just want to share. I was in Europe last week, and I was in Amsterdam, and I was in Paris for work, and I'd never been to Europe before, and I was fascinated what I'd see. And in Amsterdam, I walked all over that city. It was beautiful, and then I go into the red light district, which was mind-blowingly bizarre.
yeah, it's like some of those girls have like a revolving door, dude. I watched and I was like,
wild,
wow.
yeah. Bro, and I did. I stood on the corner and I watched for quite a while to try to observe, like, what is this? Like, what are humans and what is happening? And this has been going on, they said, since 1603, uninterrupted. And like, okay, this is something, they say it's the oldest profession, but why is it? And what is it? And I was observing guys come up and talk to these women, and I didn't see anyone go in. I saw guys come out. I thought, what is it? And I thought, at the end of the day, humans just want to feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
I don't judge another, there's ways that people choose to feel good that aren't the healthiest and not the best, but ultimately at the core of humankind, humans just want to be loved. They want to be known. They want connection. We want to feel good. And this world has done everything. These dark conscious beings have done everything to keep us from feeling good. So I leave Amsterdam and I go down to Paris, and I have these incredible conversations with people, and people were willingly, this one French gentleman was like, France is a communist country. And he was like open about it. And talking about the invasion in France and all this stuff. I was like, this is amazing. And in the US 5 years ago, everyone would get real tense and angsty, and like, but people were just talking about it. And my brother messaged me and goes, hey, what's your observation over there? And I said, 3 things. People are beautiful all over the world. Number 2, the Great Awakening is real. And 3, people just want to be known and loved.
Yeah.
That's
3
it.
easy things, right?
That's it. And I think that's what they cannot stop what is coming. And what is coming is humanity waking up to, we are the beauty in this world. And the word heaven is a conjunction word, H-E-A-R-T. So H-E-A-E-V-E-N. Heaven is a balanced heart. And God created first, in the beginning, God created the heaven, the balanced heart, and the earth. And earth is an anagram for heart. So E-A-R-T-H or H-E-A-R-T. So you have the balanced heart and the disrupted heart. And God puts Adam in the garden and tells him to subdue the land and take dominion over the land. Well, why would you have to subdue something if it's not wild already? So man is here to bring order already to this game that's being played out.
Wow.
And bro, I think when Jesus says, when you pray, our Father, which art in heaven, the balanced heart, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. The unregulated heart as it is in heaven, on earth, in heaven as it, on earth as it is in heaven. God's saying it's us that are the ones that are bringing balance to this realm. And
that makes a lot of sense to me.
Stop it. They can't stop it when we wake up to who we are.
Man, I agree with you on that. Yeah. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Yeah.
Balanced heart. E-V-E.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. No, I never really looked at it that way. Wow, you dropped some big bombs on this show. I like that. So let's see what happens with Joe Rogan. All right. I'm not going to. All right. Okay. I'll tell you what. I'm not going to. All right. I'm on the fence with it, and then I'll stay on the fence until we get there. Yeah, and then we'll let's see what happens. You never know. You're right. You never know. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and see what happens. I'm not going to go.
A lot more cool counter moves coming.
I think you're right. Yeah, we're you're right. We're not even there yet. So lots of moves to be made for sure. And then plus I want to get my audience's reactions and comments on what do you think we just looked at in those pictures. You think they were made in a warehouse in the barrio, or what do you think's going on? Or do you think they're real? I don't know, folks. I'm just putting it out there for you. You decide if they're real. I think it changes everything. I think it changes absolutely everything in the sense that obviously evolution, I mean, all of it. I mean, you have to take it into consideration. If those are real, those bring up more questions than answers for me. Yeah. But they could not be real, and they could be a hoax, and you never know. So, Lucas, thank you for joining me, man. Where do people find you?
You can find me Instagram at Lucas James Mack, my website, lucasmack.com, and I host the podcast, The Lucas Mack Show. And brother, I love you. You know, I pray for you multiple times a week on my walk, and just thankful for your heart. Really, I talk about you, bro. It takes a big heart to do what you're doing, and a love for people and a lot of courage. So I just want to honor you and acknowledge you for that, because you're in the battle.
You are
You're in
too,
the
though.
ring, bro. You're in the ring.
You know, I always went into every fight I wore my heart on my sleeve. Like I would go into there, like, just go watch my fights. You know, I went all in. I went all. There was
Yeah.
no stopping what I was bringing. You know what I mean? We were gonna fight. You know, and
Right.
I don't know. I try to do the same with my podcast, and even if I mess up, I apologize and I fact check myself, and whatever. But it
No,
is what it is, and I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate the prayers, and the prayers to you too, Lucas. Thank you.
thank you, brother.
So lucasmac.com, is it?
lucasmack.com. That's
All
it.
right, lucasmac.com. I'll put that down in the description box, folks.
Awesome.
Thanks, Lucas. Thanks for
Thank you,
we're
bro.
on each other's show, so we're gonna upload this on
That's
each
right.
other.
That's right. Awesome. Thank you, brother.
All right, man.